good. You can remind me of these things. That's awesome. Okay, we'll see if we have some extra time, or if anyone wants to stay after to do that. Let's see. Keep texting your team members that you don't see on here, and let's see if we can get some more people. They're coming on. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, sharing the product, sharing the business, and then some of the other, little things in between, right? And we have a great story coming up. I see more people coming on, so let's just wait another minute. So Jennifer Martinson's going to share her story. Thank you, Jennifer. And then we're going to talk about adding more good. We're going to talk about getting new team. We're going to talk about people who already have orders in the system and how they can use those. So we have some good things in store. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Jennifer. Thank you for agreeing.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm a hot sweaty mess. I literally just finished body pump like 3 minutes before I got on this call.
You're inspiring healthy living. Good job.
Whatever you got to do, even working out from home. So I guess to give you a little background on my story. I'm a gym junkie. I love being in the gym, and I've taught Zumba for the last like 7 years. And for a while I was teaching like 5-6 days a week, and I was in incredible shape. Like I was strong and I was in really great shape. And about 7 years ago, I started going to the doctor to get like blood work done because I turned 30, and they came back and said my cholesterol was high. Are you kidding me? You've got to be joking. So they said, well, you need to think about maybe getting on medication. No mention of nutrition or anything. Just, oh, you might need to get on medication at 30 years old. And I ate at home. Like I cooked a lot. I didn't go out to eat a ton. So I thought I was healthy. So the next year I tried to make like a few changes. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know the importance of nutrition. And the next year it was even higher. And my doctor said, you're going to have to get on medication. And I really did not want to get on medication. I was 31 years old at this time. And I knew that once they put me on medication, I would never get off. So about 6 months later, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't get on medication. 6 months later, I stumbled across Juice Plus. I had no idea what it was. My sister was taking it, so I just decided to take it. So I'm taking the gummies, the trio at the time, and drinking the shakes. And still continuing to do my same gym workout routines and everything like that, teaching Zumba and, doing body pump and stuff like that. Well, 6 months later, I go back to the doctor and get my blood drawn, and my cholesterol had dropped 50 points. And instead of being over 200, which is considered high, my total cholesterol was at 150. And she's like, what did you do? And it didn't even dawn on me that, it could have been Juice Plus. Like, I was like, I have no idea. But I found that I started liking vegetables more. I never liked avocados. And during that time frame, I actually started liking avocados a little bit more. And I really believe it was the metabolic reprogramming. So I was wanting to eat more fruits and vegetables. And I even started dabbling into salads, and I did not like salads at that point. So, and fast forward years later, I'm now 37, and my blood work is like perfect. And my doctor just gives me basically kudos every time I go. He says, you're just the most healthy person I have out there. And even during COVID, and when I'm not able to teach at the gym, even if I'm not as in good physical shape, my blood work has been getting better and better every single year. So I'm a firm believer that it was Juice Plus that turned that around for me.
Okay. And so how are you doing with the business? How did you end up start to share the business and everything?
Well, I was on the product for about 2 years, and I very much was against doing the business. I was a full-time software engineer. I was teaching at the gym. I was teaching computer science at the college. Like didn't think I had any time. And about 2 years in, I was trying to cut some expenses. And at first I was thinking, well, maybe I should cut out this Juice Plus, because I didn't really know that it had been so instrumental in my health. And I decided to go the other route. I said, well, can I monetize this instead? And so I talked to Gloria, got signed up, and just started sharing it to the point where my product was completely paid for. And then I've just, I've had ups and downs in the business, working towards QSSC right now. And there's, it's difficult, right, to build a team, and that's what I struggle with. But the first time I saw a comment in my check, it got me really excited. And so I haven't always been super consistent there, but I'm definitely trying to hit that next level.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, the comment in the chat, game changer. Totally.
Yeah.
Background noise.
Yeah,
This-
I am sour and spicy, and
Yeah, you two will go well together.
Okay, let's see if we have any questions for Jennifer. Does anybody want to ask her anything? I think your mom's on here. too.
Chocolate strawberry smoothie, if anyone wants to know.
Chocolate
I,
strawberry, that's awesome.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, are you still a full-time software engineer?
Yes, and I still teach for the college. I still teach Zumba and then Juice Plus.
So, being somebody that's that busy, how do you work it into your schedule? What does it look like for you?
Very much time blocking. And I've realized I never have the excuse of not having enough time. Whenever I'm starting to backslide a little bit with my business, it's because I'm not keeping myself in the right emotional mindset, because everyone's got 1 hour a day, right? If you're not watching TV, and you're time blocking and being really efficient in your time, then you can get 30 minutes to an hour a day, and that's including my workouts. I go and do my workouts too. So I don't really watch a lot of TV, and I try to hit it hard in the week. And that way our weekend is a little bit more free up. And yeah, that's what I do. But there's times I can try to use the excuse that I'm too busy, but in reality, I'm not. It's just time blocking.
Okay, and what when it comes to like getting customers, like what is your most typical method for doing that?
Well, I tend to use Teamsy, so I'm just trying to always start a lot of conversations and just staying in contact with people and listening for a need, and then trying to see if I can help solve their need. That's kind of been the way I've approached it. And I've got people that maybe I haven't been in contact with for 20 years, and we start a relationship back up, and eventually they get on the product.
Cool. Anybody have any other questions about that? About how you talk to people and it ends up transitioning to being a customer? You can unmute yourselves.
Question for Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, so I know you're probably really close to QSSC. How have you been able to share this with others to join your team? Because your story is a little different, where you saw it from another perspective, which I really love, that you saw it in a way to make money instead of cutting it out of your budget.
Mm-hmm. That's a difficult question to ask. To answer, I've really just looked for if I can meet a need in their life, whether it's a need of community, a need of finances, or a need of health. I'm actually working on a new teammate right now. She's saying she wants to sign up, and we're trying to get that solidified right now. I'm a little slow getting new teammates, I will admit, and that kind of keeps me from ranking up, but I'm always working on it and always trying to learn, right? You always have to learn.
Okay, so I have a question. You said ranking up. Do you listen to Ray Higdon or something?
Been listening to a lot of Bob Heilig. Do you listen to his stuff on podcasts?
No. Oh yeah. That's I remember.
Oh, the upline.
Yeah.
Your virtual upline.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
He uses that term, and so yeah, I listen to him a lot, and then of course a lot of audio books that are on Julie's list that she puts out. I just kind of work my way through all of those.
Cool. So somebody said they have a lot of conversations. I think a lot of people are like this. They have a lot of conversations, but maybe they're not transitioning them into customers. So what are some tips that you have, or maybe anybody else has?
One thing I have to remind myself is sometimes you have to straight up ask people. you want to like skirt around it and skirt around it and skirt around it. But if you've been having a conversation and you've talked to them about Juice Plus, you can keep skirting around that conversation till the cows come home. But at some point you just have to ask and find out if there's going to be an objection there or a yes or a no.
So I would also add to that, when you're having your conversations with people, if they're not transitioning into customers, so you do have to ask, but Jennifer probably isn't having a conversation about kids or about life or talking about herself a lot. And then all of a sudden she says, hey, would you watch this video about Juice Plus? I mean, that would be awkward. So remember when the network, I learned this, it's standard networking stuff, but I love talking to Jules' husband, Cletus, about form, family, occupation, recreation, and motivation or money or whatever. So those are basic things to talk about. That's in our coaching guide on Freedom Revolution. It's how to talk to people. But as you talk to people, make sure, and we know this from the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that if I'm talking to Jennifer, her favorite topic in the world is Jennifer. We don't like to admit that, but that is the favorite topic. And whoever is asking more questions and talking about the other person more kind of wins in the conversation. So make sure when you guys are talking to people that you're asking leading questions. Like, maybe I talk about golf with a guy and it's, okay, we talked about a lot of golf. And, hey, man, so how's the family doing? Open question. Oh, man, they're doing great. And Is the health good and everything? Get into health. Or, hey, I saw that you posted that picture of, this dish you made. I've even done it where a friend of mine will, if you have a foodie friend and they're like, if you know that maybe they have high cholesterol or they're overweight and you see them posting like great hamburgers, then, if you're close with that person, I've done this with G, where I intervene and I say, dude, I saw that picture, that burger looks so good, but come on, man. I mean, come on. You got to do something about this, that kind of stuff. I don't know if girls can do that, but guys can.
Close friends.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah, you gotta have a good relationship there.
I doubt if girls could do that.
I don't know. Well, girls don't do that. Girls don't post a picture of a horrible. Yeah, they do sometimes. I see some. Anyway, I'm just talking out loud. But talk about other people, and then the conversation. If you're patient, and so when Jennifer says she talks to people and she gets that relationship going with somebody from 20 years ago, that might take her. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, but it could be weeks, months. It could be a year. It could be years.
Yeah.
Sharon just got a customer from, and a distributor from 20 years. Right? Yeah. 20 years.
I'm in it for the long haul. Hopefully you guys are too. There's a lot of people out there. You could build to NMD without all your close friends and family.
Yeah.
There's time. There's time for them too, later on.
So Kelly Marcus suggested to me to start taking notes because I'm like Jennifer. I mean, I end up talking about myself too. So once I started taking notes, especially if I'm on the phone with someone, it keeps my mouth shut.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate it for you sharing your story. And I think that if you have any more questions for Jennifer, then we can put them in here. And I like that idea, Darby, of taking notes on people, and just that way you can remember to ask about something that was going on with them and things like that. Or maybe it's already in your text or messenger. It depends, So we're going to move to Stacy. She's going to just share a little bit of education with us today. And we always love hearing from Stacy. And then we'll move to something else. And we can ask questions of Stacy too. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Sharon. This is a video that I'm going to make and put into the, the Shred 10 Boxer group. And I'm not Boxer group, the Shred 10 Facebook group. And it's one that I've done online a couple of times, like live on Facebook. And then I like to have one like this that I can pass around to people, because one of the questions we often get, or statements, is, is Juice Plus a vitamin, or I already take vitamins, or I don't want to take vitamins. My mom is always like, don't let Stacy hear you say Juice Plus is a vitamin. Because I'm like, it's not a vitamin. So to have something as a resource that we can easily share, I would encourage you guys to do this on your own, to get your own bucket of beads that I'm going to show you, and do a live video or pre-recorded. We heard from that guy the other day that it's better to have it pre-recorded so you can keep it and house it and it doesn't get deleted as a live video. So this is just a bucket of perler beads that you can get from Michael's, or you can get it on Amazon, any of the craft stores. You can usually get a coupon for 40% off at one of the craft stores. So it makes it like, I don't know, $7, $8. And then I printed this label and it says, what's in an apple? On average, 11,000 vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and plant nutrients. I can see if I still have this in my, somewhere. I'm sure it's on my computer. And then buy just a generic bottle of vitamins. And I did a 1 a day because it's something that a lot of people are familiar with. And people will say, oh yeah, I take that, or I used to take that. So 1 a day vitamin. And then this little plastic container used to have glitter in it. So I bought at the craft store, it was like a container or a package that had like 4 of these glitter containers. Just pour the glitter out and then put 30 beads in here. Okay, so then I also have some sort of container. This is just from the Container Store, but you could do anything that actually has the capsules in it that you can see the capsules. And then I just store all of those inside this bucket. I just push them down in there. Thankfully, I've never spilled them. It's like a huge fear of mine that I'm going to spill those everywhere, but so far so good. Okay, so you can do this in a presentation. Yesterday, I went to the coffee shop and was meeting with a new rep and her 2 people who both ordered, and one became a distributor. They were already primed. They had already watched videos, and I did recommend that. Let me let my little dog out. If she's out, she wants in. If she's in, she wants out. So, okay, sorry about that. All right, so already have, they have had some sort of experience, but this is what I do in a presentation. So I would say usually something like, most people know that they're not eating 7 to 9 servings of fruits and veggies every day. They find that very difficult to do. And so they tend to rely on a vitamin to bridge that gap. I mean, we've been told, take your vitamin, take your vitamin, take your vitamins for years. That's been the answer for most health professionals that know that you're probably lacking in nutrients. But I want to give you an example. I'm a visual person of the difference between whole food nutrition and a vitamin supplement. Okay, so when you're looking at something, when you're looking at a food label, a label on something, there's 3 kinds of labels. One is a supplement fact label, that's what's on here. The second one is a drug fact label, that would be on, like, let's say a bottle of Tylenol. And the third is a nutrition fact label, which is what you would find on a bag of carrots. So we're going to look at this one here. This is a nutrition fact label. This is a supplement fact label. And you can see that there are different vitamins listed on here. Most people are familiar with a 1 a day vitamin. And each of those nutrients has a percentage, but it also has a weight next to it. So I want you to think about, how can you weigh a nutrient? Right? Like, that's kind of an odd thing to think about, weighing a specific nutrient. So what they're going to do is, to make this multivitamin, they take a nutrient found in nature, found in a fruit or vegetable, they reproduce that chemically as best they can, and then they put that chemical into a powdered form, and then that powdered form is actually weighed, and then it's compressed together with other powdered isolated chemical nutrients. So vitamin C is going to be reproduced as best they can in a lab, put into a powder form, and then put with the powdered vitamin A, powdered vitamin E. It's all compressed together in this little pill. So then I usually take it, open it up, and show that to them. And I say, if I were to crush up this and into a powder and had you taste it, what would you taste? And their face is always like, ooh, it wouldn't be good. It's like a chemical, it tastes like a vitamin. Like I said, would you be able to taste specific plant nutrients from that? And they're like, no. And I said, okay, so let me show you the difference. If one of the nutrients that's listed on the back of this label is represented by one of the beads in this little jar, this is how many nutrients you're getting in an isolated form that your body can only absorb about 8% at best. And it's mega dosed because you're only going to absorb a small amount from it. It's always better to get your nutrients from a food source. So let me give you another example. In one apple alone, there's over 11,000 nutrients. One of these beads represents one of the nutrients in just one apple. Like 10 to 11,000 in one piece of fruit in tiny amounts, because all of these tiny amounts all work together in synergy. Your body knows what to do with those. Just like a car has thousands of parts, you can't say, I want a car that has a seat, a rear view mirror, and one tire and a tail light. That's not a car, right? That's parts of a car, but it's not a car. And you can't go cross country in a car like that. You have to have a car that has all of the parts and all working together. Your body knows what to do with this because it's in small amounts. It's from a food natural source. It doesn't know what to do with this. And we presume that taking a vitamin is going to prevent disease. But when you look up the research, it's not there. It doesn't prevent heart disease. It does not prevent cancer. It does not prevent diabetes. When you look up the research on food, everything will point to a diet rich in fruits and vegetables helps prevent disease. So it's always better to get it from a food source. That's why I take Juice Plus, and that's what Juice Plus is. 30 different fruits, veggies, and berries in a capsule. If I open these capsules for you, and sometimes I do that, open the green one and close it, and then have them taste it. What do you taste? I can taste the broccoli, the garlic, kale. Okay, that's because there's broccoli, garlic, kale in there. Okay, this is the fruit one. Have them taste it. Have them, and then I'll say, do you want me to crush this one up? Do you want to taste it? And they're like, no, I don't want to taste that one. Okay, so do you understand that this is food? This is not a vitamin. It's so far superior to that. It's this times 30 getting into your body every single day, and your body knows what to do with that. That's what health looks like. And that's how I explain the difference between whole food nutrition and a vitamin. And I always end with, it's always better to get your nutrition from a food source. I want you to eat as many fruits and vegetables as you can, but if you're not eating 9 to 13, then this is an easy way to bridge that gap.
Bam.
That is awesome. And, you know, that's like a longer version, like with props and things like that, which is great for a presentation. But you can still, like, that was a great presentation, by the way, Stacy. It was
Yes.
awesome.
Everybody
And
loves
then
it.
at the end, she kind of encapsulated, no pun intended, the whole thing by doing like a little short version of it. It's like, you know, like, what would be your 30? If I said, well, I take vitamins, Stacy, what would you say to me if we were just talking like in the grocery store or something?
Can you tell me, why do you take vitamins?
Because, because I don't think I get enough nutrition. I need those vitamins because I don't get enough of it for what I eat.
So if you could get the nutrients from a food source versus a chemical vitamin source, would that be of interest to you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I mean, I need C and D and things like that, right?
Why do you take the vitamins? Why did you choose the vitamins you take? What made you choose those?
They were on sale.
So do you have any proof? Do you
Well,
have any evidence?
I've always taken Flintstones and I never stopped.
So what's the research behind Flintstone vitamins to help prevent heart disease, cancer, and diabetes?
I don't know.
If there was no research to prove those things, and actually that vitamins could do more harm than good, would you want to see that?
Yes.
If there was information out there that shows fruits and vegetables do prevent disease, such as heart disease, cancer, diabetes, would you want to see that?
Yeah.
If I could help simplify your nutrition by helping you get 30 different fruits and veggies into your diet every day, would that be of interest to you?
Yeah, but I still need vitamins, right?
I could show you that there's a difference between whole food nutrition and vitamins. Would you be interested in that?
If I could.
Yes. If
Okay.
I good one, Sharon's writing that one down.
Can I send you my 3 favorite videos that help explain that?
Sure.
Nice. What are your
What's
3
your
favorite
number?
videos?
What are your 3 favorite videos?
If I'm talking on Juice Plus, it would be the whole truth and I don't know. What is the one with the doctor?
Bridging the Gap.
Yeah, Bridging the Gap. And then the one by
Yeah.
Dr. Janet Roberto. And then just the quick one on the omegas.
What was the second one? Is that the shake with
Yeah.
Roberto? Yeah.
So the
Mhm.
usual.
Yeah.
What we tell people. To
And
share.
the omegas, yeah. Yeah, you know, like that Bridging the Gap, it's kind of a lame video as far as like how it looks. It's not flashy and cool, but the content, it's just, you can't send the one with the lady in the kitchen and get the same impact. If they really watch it, there's nothing like it.
I agree. I was sending the one with the lady in the kitchen, and it is cute. I like it. It gives an overview of everything. I think it's great for presentations, or it's sort of like a commercial, if you will, to me. But if I'm really wanting them to get the education, I do the other one. And I was just finding, me personally, I wasn't getting the same rate of people ordering when I was using the Jumpstart to Better Health. I felt like I had to keep adding extra piece of information, another video, like they just weren't totally grasping it. And then that just extends the length of time between initial conversation and order. And people get lost during that, they get distracted. So me personally, I went back to the longer one. It's like 11 minutes. We can be freaked out about if people aren't going to watch, something longer than 4 minutes. If they're not going to watch something longer than 4 minutes, they're probably not going to take their capsules either. Like if it's of real interest to them, that's dependent on me to set up the excitement about the video and the discussion and the conversation. These aren't like just super cold people that I'm sending the videos to. We've already had quite a few, discussions. I'm attaching it to what their need is that they've already shared with me, because we've been in conversation, to where they're more likely to watch the video because it's going to answer their need. But I find I get better results with that one.
What would you say to a new team member who doesn't share videos?
Why don't you share videos? Like, you don't want to be the expert. I don't want to be the expert. I know Juice Plus. I can do presentations with not even thinking about it. I've been doing a presentation, speaking, and my mind is thinking of something else, and I have to make myself go back. Like, I know the information. I don't want to be the reason that they decide to order Juice Plus. If I'm in presenting mode or convincing mode, my heart is not in the right place, and it's not going to go well. Nobody wants to be told what to do. They want to choose to be a part of something. So pass along the video and just say, I would love to get your opinion on this. It made sense to me, but I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. That's letting them choose to be a part of something versus telling them what to do, which would look like vomiting all kinds of Juice Plus information all over them.
And remember,
Let them decide.
a lot of us are reading and watching videos on the GoPro book right now with Eric Worre. And one of the things I read in that book the other day was, it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates. Okay, so for instance, if it worked, if you memorized the whole presentation and you just said that to a bunch of people, you probably will get customers, and you're going to make $300, $400, maybe even $500 a month. But what if you want to make $5,000 a month? If people just aren't going to join your team if they think they have to be like you. But unless you're just somebody that sent them a video, then it's like, oh, I can send a video. So you don't want to make it like overwhelming. You want to keep it simple and duplicatable. Stacy sends the same video that I send, and so,
And me.
yeah. So I think it's really important that we focus our time and energy on talking to people and not trying to become an expert.
Right. We want to make sure people understand there's a system. We just share what we do know, our excitement or what made sense to us. And then we share a video, and then we follow up. And we want to be able to say to the new person, and we'll help you follow up. all you got to do is send a video to somebody. That seems pretty attractive, right? That's the truth. But if we just try to talk for 40 minutes and sell them, we may not get them to reorder.
So before we talked about the video, I thought it was interesting what Stacy said, that she talks to people, she has conversations going and things like that. I think a lot of people that are sharing and not maybe getting the same kind of results, I think sometimes they don't really have a lot of back and forth in the conversation before they might even share videos, but if you prematurely share a video, they're not set up to even watch it. You know what I mean?
Is that kind of what you were alluding to, Stace?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not messing around either. The reason I'm talking to people is because I want to get them on Juice Plus.
Right.
Like, I'm not skirting around it and trying to like, oh, I don't want them to think I'm selling them something. Like, is this our business or is it not our business? Like, quit playing the game. Stop worrying about what everyone's thinking. Jen's laughing at me there. Like, we can spend a lot of time asking people, hey, how's your day? I hope you're having a good day. I don't have time for that. I'm here to help people get started on Juice Plus, and like, I'm serious about this. So in some ways, I'm not just saying like, I hope you have a good day. I'm trying to be a resource. I'm trying to connect. If I see the need on Facebook, I don't, I'm send them a message or whatever, but like, I'm intentional about it. It's going to go to the Juice Plus information. I'm going to drop little comments in there. I'm just going to bring it up. Like, I'm not just cold market finding somebody that I was friends with 20 years ago, I've never spoken to again. Like, what are the chances of them actually ordering? It's going to be a huge, long process, right? Like, so be intentional about the conversations you're starting. I'm just trying to think of like one recently that I could go through with you guys. I had put out a Voxer. I think you guys had listened to that. Like, if you're a resource to enough people, they come to you. Like, I'm not finding I'm having to go out and start conversations. It's like I put a post out. It reminds people of discussions I've had with them already, or they're like, oh yeah, I should ask Stacy, because they already see me as somebody that's helpful. I'm in the community. I'm out there. I'm involved. And then they come back to me with that need, even if it's been Juice Plus discussions in the past. So if you have enough conversations and discussions going around, like, I try to talk to around 40 people a month, really like conversations happening, then out of 40, there's going to be people that are ready this month. And then I add, 5 more from last month's conversation, and they kind of come around, and it's, maybe 2 months later, but I'm talking to 40 people. If I'm talking to 5 and that's it, that's where my focus is, and I'm trying to convince those 5 to order, I'm going to get frustrated and they're going to get irritated. And I don't want to be in either one of those situations. So you have to be talking to enough people and tracking that somewhere. Where are you writing down the people that you're discussing with and having conversations with? But it's just kind of like a circle back around to them.
You have an ongoing list, right?
Yeah.
With those people. When you go live, like, we listened to the Wednesday social media, and that's why you're saying maybe I'll make a video, and then you can use clips. Like, we could even use her video and make a little clip to put on the story, which is pretty cool. I have no idea, exactly how to do it, but I think that's really neat. I think that when I think of Stacy, she has a lot of tips to share. She could go on every day and probably share a different tip. She's super nanny in my mind. She could go on and say, all you, mommies of infants, here's some advice. The next day she could say, here's how you craft up a basket. The next day she could, I know it sounds funny. And the next day she could say, here's how you make a salad jar. And the next day she could do, vitamins versus whole foods. So, that's Stacy. We all have our gifts and talents. So we've got to figure out, how can I bring value to people, like the guy talked about on Wednesday. So do you guys have some ideas? And maybe you even see people on here that you're like, man, I wish this person would go live with how they do this or that. Like maybe Jen Crispin, actually can't see your new last name, Martinson. She knows how to surf or skimboard, like all these different things. She could go live showing us how to do that.
And
Showing our kids, you know.
what that does, for instance, like I'm a musician. So, and I actually had people requesting like, hey, Doug, you're not doing any drum videos anymore. So like if I just play drums or do something with drums isn't going to sell Juice Plus, but drums is going to connect me to my drummer people and the musician people. And then I have these conversations, and then you talk about life, and it ends up with Juice Plus. So it will connect whatever your interest is. Have fun with it. You know, it could be crafting baskets.
Crafting baskets.
I'm sure there's other basket crafters out there. Lots of them.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about, crafting baskets. Yeah. So
Anybody else
you
have
know,
ideas?
Yeah. What are your ideas, guys? Let's open it up for discussion, guys. You guys
Can you repeat the question?
What is something you could share on and make videos and share on social media about?
Oh, I know people on my team are really good about sharing meals they're prepping. Bella's really good about that. Making videos on fitness too. I just did one this morning. I decided to go out to the soccer field and work out instead of going into the gym. And so I just had Chance record me doing some lunges, and then I posted, I was working out while my kids were practicing, and then I put my workout on there. That's what I was posting while you guys were sharing. But I clipped that little bit just to let people know, hey, you can, you know, work out outdoors while your kids are doing whatever. There's just a lot of little things you can do. And I love that social media training, which brought it back to the forefront of taking some large videos and cutting it down and putting it in stories and different places. That was genius.
Yeah. Genius. And so Stacy's gonna go live with the vitamins versus whole foods in the shred group. When you go live or put a video in a group that's private or secret, you can't share them outside of that group, and she knows that. But if you were to go live on your wall and it's public, then people can share it or do watch parties. Just want to add that, you know, if Stacy wanted to, and I don't know if she wants to, she can always use her wall to go public, and then we could all do a watch party. Or we have that plant-based power for any of you guys. You can use that, go live in there, and then share it into different groups so that you can have something public besides your wall. Does that make sense?
Yeah, one thing I started doing, once I do my videos and sometimes they pop in, I would send a quick picture to the group to tell them to log on. I'm going on in 5-10 minutes. So they have an alert, and they can also go ahead and share it. So it gives them, you know, a little schedule to do, or just an affirmation where they don't have to do a video. If I do one, courtesy, jump on it and share it.
Yes, that's good. And you do that on your wall?
Yes,
Timeline, I mean, wall, timeline, same kind of thing.
Yes,
And you guys know when it comes to stories and videos and cutting, yeah, most people are using their phones for video. I mean, we have it, it's handy, so use it. You can trim it in the phone, the movie app or the video app in there. There's also apps that are specific, like Cut Story and things like that, where you can take a longer video, because you know how like a Facebook story video is only going to be like how long? 15 or 30 seconds, something like that. Well, what if your video is like 40 seconds or a minute? So you put it in the Cut Story, and you can choose where it cuts, and there's templates and all kinds of things.
What does that mean, Cut Story?
It's an app called Cut Story. I tried it once, but I'm just not, you know, I don't do that stuff. But some of you guys that are really into
I've seen
that.
people with multiple, like they're talking and it goes to the first frame, the second, the third. How do you guys do that?
I use something called InShot.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I wanted to share what I've learned from Ray Higdon in regards to trying to get more prospects and trying to learn more about, you know, people reaching out to you, is you can talk about anything. absolutely anything. And the best way for you to get subjects to talk about is just look at the covers of magazines. All those titles are alluring. They pop, and makes you want to open the magazine, right? So you can just go to the store and take pictures, or you just look at them online, and you can look at covers of magazines. And then what you have to have always is a CTA, which is a call to action. So you can say, you can talk about the 10 best toothbrushes, but you're only going to talk about 5. And you're going to say, I'm talking about 5 top toothbrushes that I got from, and you can mention where you got it from. And then you say at the end, if you want the full list, just send me a message and I'll give you the full list. And it really works because people are really interested. They don't want to do the work, so they want you to send them the full list. So that opens up a conversation. Then when you reach out to them, you say, just out of interest, obviously a lot of the time it has to do probably with health. Like I did one about, hair loss, losing hair. And so a lot of people reached out to me. So when I reached out to them, and before I sent them the information, I said, how long has your hair been falling out? And so that starts a conversation going.
Interesting.
So good.
Okay, can I add something to that? There's 2 apps that I use that are game changers. One is called Friendly, where you can actually take any video and cut and paste it where you want on Facebook or social media. And the other one is called Click. And that one, you can take your video and pictures, and it creates a movie all on its own for you. So all you have to do is put some wording. So those 2 for me are game changers.
Mm-hmm.
Friendly
And Click.
Okay.
It's QUIK. Those are the best ones to use.
Good.
What else do you guys got?
If anyone uses a GoPro,
Go ahead, Judith.
if anyone uses like a GoPro 7 or above, there is some really cool apps that you can put on your phone. You can take a whole bunch of small clips in a GoPro, and it basically lets you make a movie as short or as long as you want. It puts music to it and everything, and it looks really professional, and it takes like 5-10 minutes. So my husband does that one a lot.
Well, it looks like Quick is made by GoPro. Is it QUIK?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, does it connect to your GoPro and pull all your information down?
Yeah, but I think it looks like you could also just upload videos to it, right?
You can upload, it will take out the parts that you want, and it's excellent because it's like a short clip. You can do one for 15 seconds or 30 seconds. And it does music, backgrounds, it does everything for you.
And the cool thing about some of these, like getting to know, I've been thinking about getting better at these because like if I'm doing Tower Garden videos, you know how like you're showing, you want to do like a close up of your basil, like a seedling, but then you want to talk to the people, but then you're like fumbling around and you're switching the camera and stuff. If you got good at these apps, you can make it where it just cuts to your face really quickly and really nice, which is kind of cool. I think we saw in one of the Eric Worre things where there's a guy that spends like, he does like 5 hours a day producing a video every day. He spends 5 hours like setting up a shot. He's got lights, the whole deal. But his whole business is based around like Facebook, going live on Facebook and going live and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not a Juice Plus guy, but it's pretty interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in our industry it's all about talking to people. So anything you can do to talk to people, it's all good, you know?
Yeah.
And I have to say, Doug, one of my most passed around videos was one I was doing on the vitamin and Juice Plus, the difference. And I had the camera set up, it was leaning up against a candle. I was outside. There were all these like really loud locust bugs that were ridiculous. And my camera or my phone fell and I picked it back up and said, oh gosh, sorry about that. Like, it was not a perfect video by any means. I had a pimple on my face, that cheek that woke up that morning and was like, I can't do a video of this pimple on my face. You know, I was all worried about it, but I was like, no, just do it. It's not about being perfect, about being present. Just do it. And I did it. And I got a couple of team members from that one. Even it just reminded them from past conversations we had, and they came around, they were ready to order, and some customers. So just do it. Like, you can psych yourself out thinking it has to be perfect, but I think people like vulnerability and just, you know, just being real and not having to have that perfection. Perfection leads to paralysis, and paralysis leads to what is the word? Procrastination.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I could never do one of those.
So
I don't want to.
No,
do one
well,
of
you don't
those.
need to. I'd say the only reason to do that, it's not because you want it perfect. It would be to do it because you like kind of like messing around with technology stuff. If you don't, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, the videos that I get Tower Garden orders from are just ridiculous. They're rambling. They go for like 40 minutes, and somehow it works for me. So what are you going to
People
do?
like to hear you talk.
Yeah, she keeps telling me that.
It's true. Okay, so let's hear how some of you have gotten customers. I'm just going to have to call out on some people. I'd love to hear from Lonnie. I'd love to hear from Lisa. I know that if she's not on here still, I think she is. If she doesn't want to talk about it, Stacy can, because I know Stacy was involved. And other people who've gotten customers, Lonnie can't talk. So Lisa, do you mind sharing? She's brand new, but she has the most customers on our team right now.
Woo!
Bam. You gotta
Brand
turn
new.
on your, I'll unmute you.
Okay, you're unmuted now.
No, she's not.
No, you're not.
Maybe I'm doing it at the same time. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you. So to start, I have to give my shout out to my upline, Marissa and Stacy, because they were the ones that helped me to do it. So thank you for that. I would be scared to do this by myself, so that's for sure. I'm grateful to have a team to help me. But Stacy and Marissa came to my house, and we hosted a muffins and smoothie party. And we all were able to invite some people and just friends and family that felt like they need to know about this stuff because it's so great. So Stacy was our wonderful presenter. So I don't really get to take any credit except that I told my people about it. But it was fun to be able to have so many people come together and have them interacting together to be able to say, this is what I feel like is important about health, and this is what I feel like, and this is what I feel like. And so they were all kind of feeding off of each other of the importance of health and nutrition and how it could bless them or how it had blessed them. So I think all of those interactions together made it a lot better. Some of the people I had not sent previous videos to, and they just came and were excited to learn. Some had, and so it was kind of just a combination of people, but they were all very interested, and even those that didn't make orders that night still have good interest. So I think there's some good hope for follow-up with them.
What did they typically order?
I think all of them either just did duo or trio, but they all did healthy starts right now. I had some that did the protein shake as well.
That's good. And did you take advantage of the Add More Good campaign? You came in right when that started.
We did. Everyone added more. Every single one of them who did the healthy start. So they were all excited about that. And hopefully they'll get a good feel for the protein shake through that. And then the ones who didn't order any will get some.
And I don't know if, you know, once I got out of like Broward and Palm Beach, people were not, it seemed like, as concerned about the coronavirus. So how did you have an event during this time? I don't know what it's like where you're at in Utah, but I know that once I got a little north of where we're at, people were like, you know, whatever, you know? And so is it like that there that you were able to have an event?
I think that there are people that I would have invited that I knew would not be interested at this time. So they will have to do other things like Zooms and stuff. Because you're right, there are still some people that are like not comfortable not doing that. We probably had about 20, so we're within the realm that we're allowed, right? But I think that a lot of the people who came are people who are health-minded and know that nutrition is an important part of immunity and so forth as well. So that helps.
That was good. And how did you invite? What did you say to your friends?
For my people, Stacy and Marissa again helped me with the invites and the verbiage there, but it was mostly like, life is crazy right now, and including the coronavirus stuff. And there's a lot that we can't control, but there are some things that we can control. So let's learn about how nutrition helps in our life that way.
That's great. Stacy, you want to add anything? Thanks, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lisa's great. You know, we all love her already. The first time we were talking to her, I was like, Marissa, just sign her up. Like, go give her your card or something. Like, she is one of us. But she's very teachable. Whatever we ask Lisa to do, she does it. And she's very connective. She has a lot of great relationships. She did an awesome job sharing her story, and so did Marissa. We just had a time of connecting with these other moms and ladies that were there, trying to get on the same page with them. What were the needs that they had? What were their concerns? I asked them at the beginning just to think about, like, why did they come? And we just kind of paused for a little bit and thought through that. Like, something made them say yes. Either they were coerced, drug, paid there, something, or there was a genuine interest. They had some reason in their mind, a concern, a health issue. You know, on the outside, we all seem like everything's fine. People say, hey, how are you? I'm great. How are you doing? So good. But nobody really gets to the deeper issues of, you know, what's really going on in our health and in our mind. And that's what I wanted to step into with them that day. So I kind of invited them at the beginning to do that. We had order forms. We passed those around. We walked through those. I asked questions, but it doesn't work if there's no people there. And Lisa did a really good job. She invited like 40 people at least, right, Lisa? And then I think, and Marissa invited a lot of people. They used me as like, hey, my friend is coming from out of town to talk with us. That was, I think, helpful too. But they're the ones that did the work. They invited people. They got into those conversations. They had already connected with some of those people, really just shared their heart and why we were inviting them to come. So the magic is in getting people to the event, and that's what they did. So I was just the messenger that day, but they were the ones that got people there.
I have a question. So, number one, were there any either guys there or any spouses? And if there were, and I'm assuming it's primarily ladies because we do this and I know how this works, but if there weren't, or even for the ones that were just women there, how do you deal with like ordering for spouses and suggesting that and trying to upsell to the whole family on Juice Plus? If you could speak to that.
You want me to answer?
Yeah. Or,
okay.
Or yeah, whoever.
If I was going to get spouses there, it wouldn't be a muffins and smoothie mix. It would be like a steak dinner. I mean, we just
I didn't catch that title there. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want guys there, you're going to have to do dinner because they're working. This was a daytime event. So that's what I found to work for getting husbands to come, is do a dinner and invite them. So I can get guys to come to a taco night. And if I'm feeding them, they come straight from work, they'll come. I've had, as many as 5 different couples that have showed up, because I'm doing dinner. So I think that's key if you want the spouses to be there. And it's fun. It's just going to add an element of crazy if they all have their kids. So be prepared for that too. So, just kind of keeping that in mind when you're inviting whole families. As far as like getting their whole family, if they're saying, when we're placing the order, okay, who are we ordering for? Usually we've already had a discussion by that point about their husband's health or about their family's health. So then let's just say they've already told me some things about their husband that they're concerned about. Then I would say, all right, let's go ahead and get you ordered. Like, what is it that you're wanting to order for yourself? I've already told them what I recommend. And then, let's just say she says, well, I definitely want to do the trio for me and my husband. And I'll say, okay, great. What about the omegas? You had mentioned heart disease in his family or the mental health struggle struggles you've had lately. Are you wanting to do the omegas as well? And then she says yes. And then I'll say, I'm just curious if you thought of anyone else as you were sitting here hearing this, like somebody in your family, somebody else, a friend that this would make sense to them too. And then they're usually like, yeah, my sister, you know, I always thought of my parents, like they really need this, or they'll even bring it up in the conversation. And so that's what I was doing. I was kind of going around person by person as I got them into conversations and just asking them questions. When they start saying they're already thinking of somebody else, then I'll just say, you know, I think this is what makes the most sense to you. Can I share with you that what I think would be the most helpful to you? That's usually what I ask. And then they say, yeah. And then I'll say, okay, look, you can get your order in, your husband's order. You're already talking about your mom, your sister, you know, your friend, your neighbor. There's a lot of people around us that need this nutrition. We can easily share this with them and we can impact more lives. We're looking for other people to partner with us and to help them. And it benefits you. Your orders are with you. You get to be in control of those and manage those yourself. And your mom and your neighbor, they're going to order more likely from you than me. I don't know them. I don't have a relationship with them, but you do. So I would love to partner with you and help them get this information to them and get them started too. Plus, you're going to get some money back on your own orders, and that's going to easily help offset the cost and even pay for your Juice Plus. You can decide how little you want to do with this, but I think that would be the best first start. Does that make sense? And then that's usually how we find team members. So I had that conversation with at least 4 people at that event, because that's where mind goes. Customers add to your paycheck, team members multiply your paycheck. I don't want hundreds of customers to manage. I want team. And at first it kind of seems like, but if I get a customer that turns into a team member, I don't get the retail sales profit. So I'm shorting myself because I'm not at a commission level yet, or I'm not going to get as much money back because they'll get the sales profit. That's very short-minded, small thinking. You've got to think big picture. So a team member is going to bring on one customer is a customer, right? But a team member can bring on 10 customers. Well, you just multiplied that by bringing that one person in as a team member. So you've got to just kind of keep the bigger picture. You want more distributors than you want customers. And so the conversation has to go there to be able to find them. If you keep it at a customer level, that's what you're going to get. You're going to keep customers. And so I was able to get into those conversations because I know the questions to ask. And I just shared some of those questions with you. But you have to be intentional about leading it in that direction. They don't know what to do unless we lead them there. They don't know how this works. That's up to us.
And you want to paint the vision for, hey, don't you want to share with your mom, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your best friend? You're probably going to, here's how this works. Here's to your best advantage. Here's your options. People love hearing about their options. So don't hold back. That's a big mistake.
If the answer is a no, okay, it was a no. If you don't ask, it was already a no. It's a 100% no if you don't take it in that direction. And it may not be now that they say yes, but if they're just kind of hesitant, they're not sure, then you just say, let me send you a couple of videos so you get a better viewpoint of who we are as a company. And then we've got till the end of the month to move these orders to you if you decide that. There's no rush right now. Let's just explore it. I just wanted you to know your options. It wouldn't be fair of me to keep that from you. You get to decide. You're in charge here. I try to say that as much as I can too.
Wow, that's awesome. Nice. You get to decide. You're in charge here. That's awesome.
Man.
So what if we went to our current customers and said, hey, I just want to make sure you know all your options. Would you like to know all your options? What are they going to say? No. Are they going to say no? I don't know.
If
but
they do, that's okay.
If they do, that's fine. So thank you, Stacy, and thank you for everyone who contributed today. We will go ahead and end this now on that gold that Stacy provided.
That was awesome.
We appreciate it.
We might need to trim this video and just take some few clips out.
Clips. Can we put stories in groups? Awesome. Thank you, and we'll look forward to seeing her video in the shred. Thank you for contributing to that too. All right, guys, have a great day. And I just encourage you, go introduce the business. You know, do it. It's going to be to theirs and your advantage.
Multiplication. of your check.
Multiplication. Let's multiply. Multiply your team and who you affect. All right, have a good one.
Thanks for inspiring me today, Stacy.
Yes.
There's some great stuff.
Welcome.
Thank you, Stacy.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. Have a
Bye.
good Friday.
You too.
Bye, guys. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Guys.
Oh, oh yeah.
Yay.